What is good, rookies, and welcome to our round 14 trade talk. Before we jump into all the chaos of do we get Buttery, do we get Naz, the phrasing that I'm so reluctant to use, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do we butter our Johnson and just go Butter and Johnson for this week? Before we jump into it though, thank you so much for all the love again over the last week on the streams. And thank you to all those that did sign up to the Game Day squad. Awesome love that has been shown. If you did redeem your code, you would have gotten an email this morning with your activation codes. So just keep that in mind when you do sign up. If you are doing it late at night, around the time these videos are uploaded, you may not receive your codes until the morning, next morning. But if you have done that and you have gotten your squad together, make sure you let me know what pools you got. Let me know if you got any platinums, any good gold cards. We're going to go through, at the end of the video, building our team for the Contender Series, which starts this week. So make sure you stick around for that if you are playing along at home. And we'll also go through a private league that you can join as well to go head-to-head with me, basically. So, trade talk, you know what we do. We go through the injury reports. Nothing too crazy. Crouch, still 4 to 6. The main one here, which is new, is Peatling is out until round 16. Is what it is. In regards to, do we think Pedlar has job security? Look, maybe we might see Zach Taylor come in, maybe Dowling. I don't know what Draper's plan is. I'm really scared about Pedlar's job security because I really don't know much about the pick. I just grabbed him because he wasn't sub. Don't know why I did. Is what it is. Coleman's still 4, but we've got a lot of tests this week. So Day is actually a really interesting one. Can do some, decent stuff Supercoach wise, so maybe something after buy if we need a cheap option potentially, if the role looks good, but we'll see what happens. Carlton, nothing too crazy. Mackay is a test for this week, so we'll see what happens there. Again, Carroll was sub this week, so I'm not sure if he's going to get dropped. Common is looking still a few weeks away, but there could be people just putting their hand up to come back into the team. In regards to Collingwood, Maynard is still 1 to 2 away. Obviously, Collingwood are on their bye, though, so it might be 1 week after bye that he comes back in. So, again, I really want to see Houston's mix. He's been playing pretty decently with Maynard being out the side. Obviously, Josh Dacos just stole the show against Melbourne on Monday. But again, maybe I'd still don't trust the Houston pick if you want us to look there. Just a massive list for Essendon. What's new? Durham suspended until round 17. Obviously, we've had Parrish back now, which makes things really interesting for the merits. Redmond's still 3 weeks away. Ridley's still 3 weeks away. Mackay's TBC. There's no defenders anymore, so this is good for your Johnsons and your Clarks. Not even so much Clarks, but more your Johnsons. But again, it would just be interesting to see when these rookies get pretty much thrown out of the side, when these more senior players are fit and ready to go. Fremantle, nothing crazy. We've got Narkles a test, Amira's a test. We've got Walters a test, Warner a test. Hayden Young still 5 to 6 weeks away. O'Driscoll is an option and could be coming back. But again, they most likely say that he's going to, coming through as maybe the waffle. I don't know. Some people are waiting for him to pick him back up, but I don't think he's going to be pretty much picking up where he left off scoring-wise, so I'll probably look elsewhere. In regards to Geelong, Neil's a test. Nothing else crazy here. Bose is a test. Smith is a test as well. Would be interesting to see if Smith gets up to play against the Bombers. Hopefully he does. If he doesn't, we all own him, so it's kind of the same thing there. Nothing too crazy on Gold Coast and for the Giants. Alir's a test. Angrove is done with the season. Briggs still 2 weeks away. Callahan's a test, so this is good. This is probably really, really good for Whitfield owners. Hopefully it means that role's disappeared. Green's a test for those that have Green. Looking at you, Ghosty. Stringart's still 1 week away. Outside of that, nothing too crazy here. Cogs is TBC as well. Hawthorn, Day, not a look in sight. Sicily's still unsure. Warple's a test after a corky. Scrimshaw is also a test, so we could see some of the bigger names falling back into the side, which is good. Hopefully Newcomb has another good game this week. We need it. Johnson's still suspended around 15, so he's just going to sit on our bench at the moment, unfortunately. Can't really do much with him. We've got Viney as a test as well. So that should be interesting to have him back in the team and see what happens with that balance. Nothing too crazy here outside of Comben, who's done his shoulder 2 to 3 weeks. So I believe it was like a scapular issue for Comben, but 2 to 3 weeks for 3 to 4 weeks. So hopefully those that are looking at McKercher like myself, this is good news just in regards to really locking in that halfback role and committing to it. Nothing too crazy here for Port. For Richmond, again, short is a test. So maybe he gets up this week. Not really sure what that means for... I mean, Gray is... he's done a knee injury. So we'll see what happens there. Not really sure what else more we can do. And Saints, not sure what's happening with Philippou, but McRae is set to return this week. So depending on how he goes, he could come down to a nice juicy price where maybe we consider picking him back up. But we're probably eyeing off Horn Francis over McRae, as I still don't think McRae is top 6. Sydney, nothing crazy. Andrew is a test, but outside of that, they're on their bye anyway. So it is what it is. And same with Richmond. So West Coast, though, Cole is TBC. McGovern, still no updates on that as well. Waterman, as we said, season. Clay Hall may not get a gig at any point. He just should get drafted to another club. He needs to get traded out because he's a gun player. But we're hopefully seeing McCarthy being considered for a debut with Cole out as well, which will be interesting. Now, whether that comes into Dewar's role, which is seeing him be very, very Supercoach friendly, is probably why people haven't jumped on him. So, and I still wouldn't jump on him until we know if McCarthy is being debuted, if they're in the same squad, what happens there. Mini can't be trusted with rookies, so I really wouldn't bring McCarthy in a bet on him playing. He's just a cash option. For the Bulldogs, though, Darcy is a test, so potentially one we can look at very soon for an option in our forward line if you wanted to go there. And that's literally it for the injuries. Moving into the trades, we're going to absolutely smash through this. I'm not going to go through the weird ones. We're just going to go through our normal list and go through the top 10. So traded out, let's just give him a tick or a question mark. Xavier's a tick. Ashcroft, yeah, tick. He's got 100 break even. There's no way he's turning up. So tick, Hustwaite, tick, Gray, tick, Roberts. I still think you can hold Roberts. I don't think we have the luxury moments to trade out Roberts. I'm holding him most likely. I put a post up on X with a trade out of him, but I'm actually considering my future plans, and I probably want to hold Roberts just to try and get rookies off field at this point. So can't really afford to trade Roberts. So I'm stuck with him. But he's on his bye. You imagine he comes back after his bye. If he doesn't, then we pivot and make something happen. Carroll, perfectly fine. His break even's not the absolute worst. Like, he has hit 40s at some point this season, I believe. Yeah, like it's not the worst case. If he's still named and keeps the spot, might as well hold on to him and just wait till McCarthy's named or use him to get like a Mills next week, for example. Arrayas got to go. Kako, he can go at any time, really. Sardis again, he's just not getting a gig. Get him out of your team. And same for Clay Hall. Just can't seem to get a gig at all. That's for all coaches. For the top 1%, looks quite similar. Again, Ned Long, so people are jumping off. If you can facilitate it, I actually don't mind holding. Like, he still did very well. Like, it's not... I mean, 103. He's maxed out his cash. I don't mind trading him out. If you need numbers for the rest of the buys, still hold on to him. Save a trade. You can be more of a luxury trade out than anything. He's outside of the buy, you would not trade him. Brock as well has definitely made his cash. If you can use him now to move on and get Mills or save him for Mills next week or get McKercher, I totally love that trade. And we've already spoken about Hall trading in this week, which is going to be really interesting. Johnson and Butters, as we said, Butter my Johnson. That is the combo. It is the Wombo combo for this week. Now, a few things to discuss. Johnson, I think, is just the downright main rookie to get. That's without question. I'm not going to go too much into it. He's pretty much the only one we've got that really suits and ticks all the boxes. Nice break even, -65. When not sub, can push out an 84. So Redmond out probably does benefit that, but you take it. You can probably move him on in his buy as well, assuming that he probably won't play after it if all the main dogs are back. So see how we go there. Now we've got Butters. What to do with Butters? So 563, not the absolute cheapest we were hoping for. Break even of 90. Has previously gone 130, 184, and 98. We're expecting a big game, but he's also got Jordan the week after. Then he has Collingwood. Does he cop Hewitt? You really want him by round 18 if you were going to pick him up. Now, if these projections are anything to go at, he will get down to the price that we wanted him at. And that's assuming that he has some quieter games coming up. Now, I don't mind forcing it if you have to, but we're probably under double digits now for trades, I'm assuming, for most of us. Can we really afford to bring in a McCarthy this week when, we don't even know if he's playing? Are we getting off, rookies that actually provide on-field scoring? Does it limit us in our trades moving forward? There's so many variables that come into trying to, and it's the exact same conversation that was for Bont. Bit easier because there's about an 80k difference. But still, with all these other options available, maybe you've planned for it and you've got the cash and you can do it, which means awesome, go for your life. I personally can't go there. I could, but I don't want to because it breaks my team. And I just don't think it's going to work out in the long run. McCarthy, we've previously spoken about. Velocity I've seen get picked up a little bit. Now, 120, he's been a man of the vest, but when he's not vested, he actually can do some decent scores every now and then. It's just really hard because I don't think he's best 22, 23. Smith comes in. Smith is still out. He'll probably still maintain in the best 22, but I wouldn't count on him making cash. If you just need a playing rookie till round 16 buy, sure, and then trade him out of his buy, I don't mind it at all. But I wouldn't have a lot of faith in his job security. Now, McKerch is an interesting one. So we are definitely eyeing off some very odd picks, some very cheap mid-price picks, more value-esque this week rather than going above 450, 500k mark. So McKerch is a really pretty pick this week after the 140 that he dropped last week against West Coast of all. But it's not so much that it's West Coast, it's more about the role. It's more about the club coming out and Clarko saying that they want to lock in players into their roles for the later half of the season. He can't do anything else outside the halfback really well. Like, they want to use him properly. And I think there's enough reason to take the risk. And I think we need to take risks to try to find some silver lining to keep climbing up these ranks and not going up, down, up, down. So I like McKercher. They got Freo. Let's just have a look at their runs. They got Freo, then they got Carlton, they got Hawks. Tough matchup in Bulldogs. Melbourne and Sydney should be all right. And then we've got Geelong, Saints. Like, it's a decent run. It should be okay. For that price, I think you can happily go there. The next man, who is someone I was considering getting in from the original post I put up today, Naz, really within the top 10 mark, top 8, top 6 mark even, for defenders. Has a tougher matchup this week in Bulldogs, but just some good games coming up. Can't lie that he's been really, really good this season and really consistent. Had like an uptick of 5 or 10 points on top of last season. I believe anyway, and his average, like, it goes from like 1 to 126, 130s, 120s. It's looking really, really good. And if I had the cash to splash to get there in 2 trades, I would, but I don't. And I don't feel like spending a trade for the sake of it to get Harold down and McCarthy for no reason, because I can't really use that cash because I want Mills. I want Mills next week, so I also need to facilitate that. I can't do that if I get Naz, unfortunately. So I think Naz is probably, I would put Naz above Butters, because I think Butters is probably he's not going to get away from you. Might cop some attention in Melbourne, given what we just saw with Dacos. Will probably cop James Jordan or Rowbottom. Like, these 2 games, he potentially have down games. Like, it can be a possibility. TDK, I think, is a great trade in still. Very, very reasonable price of 536. Favorable matchup against West Coast. Then he runs into Sherry. Then he's got Viz or Sweet, Cameron, McInerney, Gorn, Meek, Jackson, Witts, then Port again, and then Goldstein. So the run home for the last two are really nice. I think it can go there. I have no issues grabbing a Deconing, but just be prepared to lock out your flexibility in the flex position with your rucks. You may need that at some point to help cover. Again, Dwyer, I don't like the pick at all. I think the writing is on the walls that maybe this sticks, or maybe he's holding a spot for McCarthy, and McCarthy comes in and moves him out of that role. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We've got Holmes at 555. Again, he's about to go out of price. So if you need to grab him, you grab him now. Again, Geelong's run home is just magical. So it should be really, really nice for Holmes. Again, we're just seeing some consistencies now, which is really good. Helps that Smith was out, don't get me wrong. But I think Max Holmes you can't go wrong with. I think there's a much better value this week, though, from players that have already had their buys. Hugh Jackson is another rookie that you can look at this week. I don't mind it. Again, sub-vested potential job security, I'm not too sure on. Moraes is in the bin. Maybe, Jackson's next. I don't know or like how Ken is handling rookies and the subs and all that sort of stuff. Not that they're going to do anything different, but I think the verdict is on that the Johnson is the main one to get. He's cheaper by 6K, and he's probably going to make you more money. So, and what are Essendon going to do? Not play him? Like, they can't afford not to. Top 1% has much changed. We've got Closey in the mix again. Kennedy is an interesting one. 102. So again, he's been very consistent, low 90s, high 80s, some tons. Like, everything's there. All the ingredients are there. Some nights it just doesn't work together Supercoach-wise for him. And that can't be his fault either. Like, sometimes it's just a, distribution of the, 3,300 points and who's hot, who's cold, who's had influence, the scaling of the game. Like, there's so many things that come into play with that. So I don't mind Kennedy. I think 480 is a decent price, but I think when you got like McKercher and the dock and all that sort of stuff, you really can't go past it. So with the main trades done, we're going to get wild here. And you know what that means. That's on. The main three that I'm looking at. So we've got Kirch. Yeah. I'm going to get wild, but we're going to put these on as well. Get sophisticated. To really look at these picks. So we've spoken about Kirch. I'm not going to dive too much into it, but I do really like it. It's a cash play as well. Hopefully, the roll's beautiful and it pushes out, a nice consistent 105 average with some spike games. That'd be ideal. Again, he's had his buy, so we get coverage from him for the rest of the buy round, which is nice. We're not paying as much, so we get to save a bit of cash there. Helps facilitate upgrades moving forward. It ticks a lot of boxes, and I think it's worth the risk. So we're going to go there. Ones you could also be considering around that price or that type of play. Some are looking at Doherty at 400. Seems to be, again, in that halfback role for 2 weeks now, and has been able to provide two good scores of 118 and 107. Blues run is actually pretty decent. You'd imagine he would be able to hit around this mark. Maybe doesn't have the ceiling that McKercher has, but I think there's a bit of consistency there that we may not see with, McKercher. Maybe Clarko changes his role, throws the magnets around again and goes back on what he said. Very possible. Doherty, I think the only risk is the injury cloud, but we've seen this sort of thing again and it may not happen and he may be a really good pick. So there's a world where we actually trade Roberts and grab both Kirch and Doc, so then we can easily facilitate Mills next week and just go mid-price madness to finish the team. Could be the play. One that is also there, our boy Supercoach Horse from Insight Fantasy. I don't know if fortunately or unfortunately had to bring in Keys, or as some would call Keezus, into the team for a 120, mind you. And Horse VC'd him, so well played. Well played. We'll call it your brilliant idea, but it was the community that really made it happen. He could be a very, very solid play. Outside of this anomaly of the 8, 94, 99, 100, 120. Did at the start. Like the roll looks pretty decent, and he's at a really nice price. The consideration with this is keys out of this like 3 still has their buy to come. It's the only consideration there, whereas Doc and McKercher have had their buys, so you get full coverage out of them. In regards to like what else or what other weird plays you could be looking at this price. So if we just go, let's just call it this one here. So you've got, who have you got? Who's standing out? I know some people looking at like a Myers, for example. I don't think I could personally go there. Moore's still very cheap, but he's not providing the goods. Just go via average for the moment. Yes, please don't load. Sam Taylor, don't touch. Mills is on our list for next week. So Mills, I think, would be the main trading target this week if it wasn't for the buy. So I definitely go there. We're going to go there next week. Nod, some people are waiting for. I definitely would wait. I'd want to see it before I even consider it. Keys, as we mentioned. One is Bergman as well. This almost Ford Francis look-alike. Break even at 13 now for 414. Again, the roll adjusted looks really, really solid. Again, that he can still drop 60s though, and this is the only consideration is outside this 92, he's either given you a 60/70 or he's given you a 110 plus. Bit of a roller coaster, but I don't mind it. Some people already captured these scores, got him at a much cheaper price. I definitely don't mind it at all. But that's one. If you were a big fan, you can go there. Another one is Darcy Fort. Is it Darcy Fort? The ruckman or the backup ruckman, I should say, for the Lions has been really, really solid. Again, has the buy to come though, so you're not really looking too crazy at him. That's probably it for the main ones I would look at. I really wouldn't look anywhere else. Berry's been really, really solid. Again, does it stick? McAuliffe has turned it around and been a good play. Again, another Ned Long-esque type of play, but he's on his buy, so you're not really going to go there. You got Pressier as well on their buy, bit cheaper. You might look at him next week as well. Injury would just be the main thing, and him playing out the rest of the season would be my concern. No one else. Green is going to be very, very cheap. He may be someone we grab after the buy because he might actually go down a heap. Like we're talking, he's going to go under 300k. That's nuts. Like we can grab him after his buy for around 300k. I go there. I 100% go there. I go there 100%. Yep. Anyway, more importantly, McRae and Horn Francis, they both are seeming to be damed this week. Wait on their break evens to balance out. They're going to bleed some cash, and then we can kind of see to pick them up when they're bottomed out. So that is the overall plays for what the community is doing, what we're doing. Pretty simple. Just loading. Cool. Really simple for us this week. We're just going to go Moraes and Lindsay. And then our main trades is going to be Johnson. And then we're just going to grab McKercher. We're just going to keep it really simple. Now, I could grab Naz, could grab Butters if I wanted to force it with like a Carroll down to McCarthy. But I don't see a need to do it. This way, we've put Dayweeks on the bench. We'll just bring Johnson there. Hopefully, Boxall plays. We'll get team sheets tomorrow night. But this way, we just get a lot of cover. Again, we've only really got 2 rookie spots left to worry about. So it's that cadence building. We get Mills next week, and we can move around. So Mills is in the flex, and we move McKercher to the M8 or D6 or whatever we want to do with him. He finds a home, essentially, in our team for the rest of the season, hoping it plays out. That's pretty much our main trades. I don't really foresee this changing. I will be interested to see if people are going McKercher or Doc, because they're essentially very similar roles and very similar prices. So there will most likely be a poll that comes out for that. We need to put the emergency on here. Very good. 24 minutes in, and we're going to get to our VCs and Cs. I'm doing very easy Sherry into Gorn. What you could do this week, I'd say, again, maybe a Bont could cop Windy. You can imagine Richards could also cop Windy, who he has before. So maybe not Richards. I doubt Windy goes to Dale. So Dale could have a nice game at Marvel. So if you want an early VC, why not smack it on Dale? See if he bounces, keeps his consistency up for us. Friday night, could go with Jordan. I think Jordan's perfectly fine. Even a Nukem if you wanted to be sneaky. I still wouldn't do it. If you have Nukem, questions were asked and mistakes were made when we brought him in. So don't VC him. Or do. Let me know if you do. If you got the balls to do it, please tell me. I might join you. Not really. We've got Gabba, we've got Lions and GWS. Don't mind Green or Whitfield. I'm still reluctant. If Callahan is playing, I don't mind Whitfield because the roles will shift back. So if Callahan is named, I do not mind going to Whitfield for a VC. Also, a Tom Green one looks pretty nice if you wanted a Saturday rotation. MCG with Essendon. I think Holmes is your main one. If Smith plays, you could probably go there as well. I don't know who they might send from Essendon for attention on Geelong. Really unsure what would happen there. Still think Nick Martin might be a bit of a play here if you wanted to VC him as well. Should be fine. Obviously, there's only one option on Saturday, and that's Sherry. Just give it to Sherry for the VC. Make your life so much easier. Just make it easy. Go VC Sherry. If you don't have Sherry, and maybe you have like a Luke Jackson, I don't mind it. Jackson can, develop points across ground. He doesn't rely on hit outs as well. So Jackson could be a little bit of a shout. But your main ones here are like Brayshaw and Sarong, I think. They should have a really good game. Unless Will Phillips is named or something and they go put attention into that. I think Brayshaw is a great shout here for a spike game. Brayshaw actually should be coming down cheap, but not cheap enough for us, I don't think. Yeah, he's $5.99. He's still going to lose not too much more cash. So, is what it is. I think we just missed him for the season. So, I don't mind that. Port versus Melbourne. Gawn is your clear captain here. Or VC if you're going the last game. But Gawn, probably the only one from Melbourne I would look at. From Port Adelaide, you could go Rosie. I think Rosie will have a good game. I don't know. I would probably not look at Butters. You could look at Butters. If there's any hint of a tag, then maybe not. But I don't think you can go wrong if you're bringing in Butters. Might as well give him the armband for debuting in your team and just see how it goes. But Butters and Rosie would be the only ones I'd consider, and then just Gawn. I wouldn't look at Ollie or Track or anyone like that from Melbourne. And then the last game. So if you want a captain, let's just say you want a VC Gawn or VC Butters and you want a safety net, I think TDK is a clear safe captain here against Flynn. Even a Hewitt is perfectly fine. We're not even going to touch West Coast. So I think TDK and Hewitt are going to be your main ones that you want to use the captaincy armband on if you have them in your team and you want a VC Gawn. So if you don't have Sherry, maybe go to Gawn and TDK. You VC Gawn into TDK. If you got a Sherry and Gawn, you VC Sherry into Gawn. Or if you got Sherry and TDK, it's VC Sherry into TDK. And I think literally just leave it. Don't complicate it. Don't make it confusing. Just leave it as that. All right, I think we blitzed. I've spoken through that so quickly. So quickly. That is going to be our trade talk. Let me know what you guys are doing for this week. Are you looking at the McKirches, the Docs, or are you grabbing Butters? Are you grabbing Naz? Are you grabbing Bont still? Like, what trades are you looking at? Are you waiting for Mills? Really curious to see where everyone's pivoting this week in trades. How many trades do you have left? Are you using all three? More importantly, I want to know if you have a boost left. If you're holding a boost and you have it now, I'm impressed at the patience and self-control. I'm really concerned maybe that you haven't spent it, maybe. But either way, let me know what you guys are doing down below. If you have made it this far into the video, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. Show all the love possible. And with that said, we're going to jump into our game day squad section. So if you guys saw the last video, you would have seen that you can use code ROOKIE on sign up to receive 3 9-player common packs, which just pretty much help get your squad started. You also have a heaps of bronze cards that you can use through the starter packs to help build your squad out. Make sure you go use that code. Again, if you use it tonight, the packs will be there in the morning. They'll get sent out to you and you'll have your activation codes and you can go do all that fun stuff. Again, really curious to see what you guys get in those packs. If you have any good cards or platinums, please tell me and rub it in my face. The best card I got was a Platinum O'Meara. But we got Tom Stewie, so that's all that counts. But we did get Newcomb, so I'm still not happy about that. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go through and, essentially look at the team I've built for the Contender Series. So the Contender Series / competition is the one that's starting this week. So it's not the Champions or any other leagues or competitions that can join in. The top tier competitions can't join in on this one. It's only starters and classics that have the availability to. Again, it's just more about leaving card rarity at a balanced opening for new coaches like myself and you guys that are following along at home with me, where we can just try our hand at it, see if we like it. Again, it's a beautiful cross combination of fantasy football like Supercoach and AFL Fantasy with opening up footy cards, just like footy select cards. So I love it. I've been enjoying it. We're going to jump into that now. So if you haven't already done the code, pause the video, go do your code, sign up, do all that fun stuff, put in the code rookie. I'll give you a shoey out of the hat or something. That made no sense. Let's just get straight into our game squad. So when you join in, we've obviously gone how to open up packs in our last video. All you need to do is on your dashboard, you can just go contender. Now it will look like this, missing under prizes because there's no team selected. So all we're going to do is you're just going to click contender. And then you get to build out your team. Very similar to how you might select a team otherwise. So there is a rolling lockout, very similar to Supercoach. So, you can change out your plays as needed, so long as the game hasn't commenced. But you get to look at players. So if we look at choosing our plays here, we can search from average score, their last round score, their rarity, and so on and so forth. Now you might look at, if we look at average score, the silvers are down here, for example. It's just because the average score is the same. What changes with the rarity is in the multiplier. So if we look at Rory Atkins, the Rat Man himself, if we look at him and we look at his card, we can see this here. Now this is a multiplier. So this is what differentiates the scoring potential that ties into rarity. So when I have a bronze player, like Whitfield here, we can see I get a ×1 multiplier. So whatever their score is exactly what I get. But if I have a silver version of Whitfield, I get 1.1 times their score. So a really cool setup in this sort of fantasy football game is the rarity helps bump up extra points to be gained. Now, when you get into the bigger competitions, like your champions and stuff like that, that's where like having top rare cards comes in real handy. But for the moment, for the Contender Series, I don't really think that we need to worry about that. Just get on the most averaging player, whether they're bronze or silver or gold. So for the moment, we're just going to quickly run through this team here. I've got Stewart, which we've chucked in. Holmes, we've chucked in. I'm going to throw Ash and Whitfield in. We've got Clark and we've got Sheasel. The other players that we do have, we've got Henry on the bench, just from a multiplier perspective, if he has a decent game. But again, we've got Roberts, we've got Mills, which we might throw in at a later day. We've got Himmelberg or Sicily. There's a few others we could throw in here. I just like to see the gold there, to be honest. So we're just going to leave him there. But you follow that same setup. So you get 7 in defense, you get 6 in mids, 2 rucks, and you get 7 forwards. So very, very similar. Again, you can chop these out as you need to with rolling lockout, and then you've just got your reserves, which is plays that you've collected that either aren't on the auction or being traded or aren't actively in this team. So really, really cool and handy stuff. Go ahead and build your team. If you've opened up your packs, you've got your cards ready, make sure you go join the Contender League and start building out your team. Even just tag me on Twitter, on X, take a screenshot of your team and tag me in a comment on a post of the Game Day squad that you've seen me share or create. Show me your team. Really want to see what cards and what you guys are doing to build up your teams, because I don't know how I feel about this team. Our midfield I'm pretty happy with. We've got Rosie, we've got Will Ashcroft, Dawson, Sarong, Hewitt, even a Merritt. I think we can do better than Merritt, but this may change. Happy with Grundy and Gorn as our rucks. Forward line is a little bit in shambles. See how we go. But this is like pretty much the process that you'll go through. So this is the team I've built. If you join the Contender League, you'll probably be coming up against teams like this. We're much better than mine. But if you just want to, follow along with me and go head to head with me, we have a private league that you can join. So what you can do is when you're logged in, You come to your competitions or you go onto your dashboard, you've made your contender team. Feel free to make a starter and classic team as well while you're at it. Just see what's new, see what you can do. But contender is the main one that we're all joining. When you've got your team, make sure you come down to private league. You want to go joined. And what you want to do is you want to grab this code. So I'll put this code in the description. You want to paste this code into here and then just hit join, and you'll be able to join the Rookie Coach private league for all you legends that are joining along on the journey. Make sure you go do that because I want to keep track. I want to see how we're all going and faring in this new world of fantasy footy. So with that said, if you guys have any questions about Game Day Squad or anything like that, feel free to let me know. I will say you do not have to pay for packs or anything to win or anything like that. It is free to play. It is free to win. There is no, I'm not advising you to buy packs or anything like that. All you're getting is essentially free packs from just using my code. So there's no pressure to go, buy currency to buy all these cool packs or anything like that. This contender league is it's made for us rookies for free. So Game Day Squad have done really well to give us a really good entry for this sort of format. So make sure you guys go utilize that. Use code rookie on sign up. And with that said, if you've made it this far, one, I love you. Second, like the video, hit subscribe. We'll be doing our After Dark stream as usual this Saturday night. We had Ghosty as a debut on last Saturday, which went very, very well. We may have to get him back. I might sub him out like all the coaches have been doing apparently. You can, of course, expect the Ali G Supercoach Supercoach Shrimp Pro to show up as well. Too many drive-bys. So easy with him. Yeah. With that said, guys, been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching and all the support, and I'll see you guys in After Dark.